Welcome everyone, today we have a new guide for Diablo 4. Now looking behind me, I have taken some time to write some really interesting notes to share with you guys. So here we'll be looking at the new item weight for the unique items in Diablo 4. And what this means is, notice that there are different weighting for different unique items. And here is one of the example. There's item requirement for the monster level, there's auto drop rate for the item weight. And what I did over here is I have done each of the calculations for different classes using those item weight, depending on the number of unique items and also their count. So by doing that, what I was able to do is I was able to create some probability tables and also estimations using this table. So we'll go through this on the first part of the video. On the second part of the video, what I want to do is I want to share with you guys one of my best method of farming for more unique items. Now, I am farming for a lot of unique items as I play the game because I'm still missing my unique stuff for my druid. But I'm not getting that. So that's why I looked into this one, and it's quite interesting to look into the calculation and also method. And this will be the second part. During this part, we'll also have a look at the drop rate of different items for different classes. And this will be one of my estimations. So if you guys want to have a look at Excel, which we'll talk about, you can see there's a number of different unique items in each of the classes, and those are the drop rate estimated using those numbers. And finally guys, after going through some of the best ways of farming for unique items, we'll use those numbers and also estimated rates to do an estimated calculation. How long would it take you to find one of your unique items in each of the categories? Because as you're going to see in the game, different unique items are categorized into different categories, and this will allow you to have a clear understanding of how long it will take you to find a certain unique item of that particular type. And yes guys, I did an uber rare unique item calculation, and it will take us about 180 to 360 days non-stop farming to get one of those items. And this gets a little crazy, right? So you gotta see in the last part about me and my friend not finding our druid unique items. So coming over to the first part of the video. Now if you guys do want my notes, I have started writing my notes onto my website again for Diablo 4. So I have made a Majestic Diablo 4 website, and this allowed us to have more information that is shared easily, because previously I was using my Google Doc, and Google Doc, it's not the best layout, right? So I do think this is a little more presentable with more color coding and maybe a better layout. So the links will be available for you guys if you want to have a look. Now let's come over to the Diablo 4 calculator over here. I was just looking into my unique items, and because I wasn't getting it, so one of the highlights I noticed that this particular calculator has been updated into the unique weighting. So you can see the item drop level, which is not a big deal, but the item weight is quite interesting. Notice that this one is saying 600,000. So if I come over to my druid, which I'm still looking for my item, right? So if I come over to my druid, notice I'm using the search tag for this particular tag. And what this allows me to do is, this allows me to search for different item of a different weighting. Notice the great stuff of the Chrome is weighted 600,000. Now there's also a number of items that is weighted at 800,000, 600,000, 400,000, and also at 1. So those are the item weight for different classes on the unique items. Now do keep in mind, there are some unique items that is shared across the class, and similarly for Temerity, and also there are the Razor Plate and also Face of Fate. Those are items that is shared across the classes. So combining all the information together, we have a first part. In order to get certain unique items, the monster has to be over level 50, 60, 85 of monster level. And certain monsters only drop unique items after World Difficulty 4. So to ensure you match those requirements, you should be fighting nightmare dungeons with level 32 or tier 32 above, and this will give you monsters over a level 85. Similarly, you want to be over level 90 in the open world or over level 83 in the Hell Tide to get those items. Now because there are 4 types of unique items of different kind, so notice that the latest spear that is added to the game, the weight is only 1. So there are 7 ultra rare unique items that only drops after level 85. But there are some less rare ones, and what I did over here is I have categorized them into 4 categories. So the ultra rare ones, the rare ones, the common ones, or the the uncommon ones. And we'll go back to this reference for different unique items. Now as one of the examples, you can see that Pantheon's Grave, which is in the category of the uncommon unique items, it has a weighting of 600,000. And what that means is, once you get a unique drop, you will be rolling in a pool of available items for your class. And if you happen to get this particular number, then you have a chance of dropping these particular boots, which I'll explain. Now, because I'm currently playing as a druid, I think it's better we explain as a druid. So for the type 1 unique items, this is the ultra rare items. Those items are like, the grandfather, the shackle, or or the Hurricane's Crest, as we call it. So the type 1 items, this will be droppable for all classes, and this only weighs as 1. And for the type 2 items, for items like the Tempest Roll, which is quite rare for the druid, and also Temerity, this one is quite rare for a unique item, only have a 400,000 weighting. And for the more uncommon unique items, like the Staff of Chrome I'm looking for, it's actually weighted at 600,000. And finally, there's 4 common unique items for each of the class, and those items will start to drop available at World Difficulty 3, so keep that in mind. So what does this all mean? So let's come over to my Excel for a rough calculation. Now, if you guys do want the Excel, I'll have the Excel available for you guys with the link over here. If you click on the Excel, this will be shared available for you guys. Now, this Excel was based on my old gambling calculations. I just came over here for each of the class categories. So come over to the last part to see the rough calculations for each of the classes for your unique type of items. So what you do is you just scroll down and see the numbers over here. If you come over to sources, I have added a little bit additional calculation for the sources, so you can see the part over here. And what I want to do is I want to present you guys with a more direct information instead of using the rough calculations. But of course, guys, I think it's more straightforward if I just explain the basic idea, how the rates are calculated. So if I'm going with a druid, what I do is I will be searching up the number of item count for this particular type of item. So for the common unique items, there are 4 of them. And if I search for 600,000, for the uncommon unique items, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And finally, for the next tier, for the more rare unique items, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how I count for each of the class. And by doing this, I was able to have a unique count for each of the categories. For the ultra rares, this is always 7. Now, if we do have any friends and also viewers who are good with maths, let me know if I'm getting my logic incorrect over here. So I'll be adding up the weights of all the unique items available for the class, and then I'll be dividing on each of the unique item weight to give us a probability of dropping any of those items that you wanted for this type of unique item. So if you're going for ultra rare item, your chances are 0.00001%. And if you're going for a more rare unique item, it's about 4%. Each time you get a unique item, it's this item. Similarly, if you get a unique item, the chance of getting an uncommon unique item is 6.5%. And if you're able to get a unique item, usually it's 8.7% chance of getting a more common unique item. So this means there are some unique item over here that is more common, and I don't know why I'm getting so many painted graves, guys. So the calculation over here works using the weight, but sometimes you seems to be getting a lot more items than usual. So here the hunter standards should be one item I'll be getting a lot, because this is more of a common unique item. But similarly, I was getting a lot of painted graves. But maybe this is self-selected, because I kept those items I sold and also salvaged as the unique items before this one. So yes, guys, if you do want to have a look at your class unique item rates, do come over here. Because for the Necromancer, for the Rogue, and also the Sources, there's only one unique, or there's one less common unique item. And this means they actually have a slight better rate compared to the Druid. So notice the Druid is about 6.5% over here. They're looking at 6.9%. The Barbarians actually have the kind of the bad ones because they have 7 common unique items compared to the other classes. And this actually lowers the overall rate probability because of this, using this method. So to take away from this one, if you guys are farming for uber unique items, I would recommend farming on Necromancer, Rogue, and also Sources for the statistically better rate, a slight better rate for those items. But in reality, you can farm any of the classes, and it's likely, guys, when we go to the next part, it will take us about 180 or 360 days when we, even have a chance of getting those items. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also Paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates, and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4. Now let's come over to a second part. Now that we know about the unique rates, how do we make use of this rate? It's when we combine a method of farming for unique items. Now here you can see in the past 1 to 2 days I was able to get way more than those unique items. This is just from one of my stash account. I had so many more that is stashed away. In the other alt characters of course. So if you guys haven't seen the previous video, we have talked about target farming unique items, and there I do want to apologize. I forgot that the health tide was nerfed and also changed that you can't not target farm unique items because of that. So if you're watching this video, it is still valid. The only thing that has changed was the target farming unique items within the health tide. So coming over to my notes. So what has changed in season 1? So at the moment, I am finding the best ways of finding and also farming unique items is actually completing nightmare dungeons. And this is the case for most of my friends who are getting more of those items. Now because of the number of buffs to the item and also reward for the nightmare dungeons, right now it is very good to go for nightmare dungeons because there's 2 ways of getting unique items. You can be getting unique items just from monster drops. This is normal for every part. And also, you can be getting unique items from the completion of the nightmare dungeons. And sometimes you can even get 2 unique items within one completion. This happened to me several times, and I'm sure this have happened to you 1 or 2 times before. So those are the 2 best combined ways of farming for unique items. Now of course guys, you can go for any of the dungeons, but I really do recommend going for Certes Lair. Because this dungeon was designed that the boss is in the middle. You just have to do 3 objectives, kill the boss, and you can solo speedrun this dungeon within about 5 minutes. But if you have 2 players doing this one to do split clears and doing the objectives, you can be complete the dungeon in about 2 to 3 minutes. Which means you have more chance of unique items because of this. And at the moment for season 1, it is by far the best way guys to go for dungeon completion for unique items that is in common, uncommon, and also rare unique grade. So what I mean is, if you're going for any of the unique item in those categories, you go for those. We're not sure whether uber rare unique items would drop in this method, and I haven't heard anyone dropping those items at the start of the season 1. Now if you have watched our previous videos, we were talking about the monster family in this video. So a side note of the monster family and also availability of unique items for different classes. For the barbarians, because they do not have any unique helmet at the moment, when they drop a unique helmet, this is pretty much a unique uber helmet, right? So this is just something on the highlight. Now do keep in mind guys, after looking at the rates of the uber unique items, it is very low. And just to give you guys a rough understanding of how low it is, here I have done some calculation and also estimations. So we talk about the best farming method is very straightforward. Here I have kept a lot of maps that is Certes Lair. So here you can see a level 56 Certes Lair. And using the dungeon reset method, I can farm this one a lot of times with one friend, just by resetting with co-op method. And now the question is, let's do a rough estimation. Let's say if I'm doing any tier of the Certes Lair, hopefully over tier 32, on average after 10 rounds of this dungeon, I will get about 1 to 3 unique items. Now there was a small typo over here, and after adjusting for this one, let's say that we get 1 to 2 unique items per hour by farming the nightmare dungeon Certes Lair, because we get 10 rounds out of this one, right? So here's the estimation. If you're looking for a common unique item in the category, so what I mean by common is at the number of 800,000, you can see there are 4 different items over here, right? And similarly, if you're looking for an uncommon one, it is 600,000. You can see the type of category of those items for your class unique. And finally, 400,000 are over here for your class as well. So just do a general search and you can find it over here. So if you're looking for a common unique item, it will take about 5 to 10 hours to farm the one you wanted. This is on the average rate with the expected values. So if you're looking for uncommon one, it will be about 7 to 14 hours farming the Certes Lair non-stop using the method, assuming that you get 1 to 2 unique per hour. And finally, of course, if you're going for the more rare unique item, it will take you about 10 to 20 hours farming the Certes Lair. And if you guys are going for the uber rares, it will take you 179 days to 360 days non-stop 24-hour farming the nightmare dungeons to get one of those items. Now, of course, guys, those are using the expected number of values and also weights that's given to us in the game. A more lucky player like my friend Neil was able to get 2 Staff of Chrome within 30 minutes. And for me, I have been farming the dungeons for a long time, and I have not gotten one of those. I've gotten other ones of the same type though, like the Penance Graves, like the Razor Plate, and also the Face of Fate over here, which is the same category, 400,000 weight. So hopefully this particular summarized video helped you guys to understand the rates of unique items in Diablo 4. And also the best method is to farm Nightmare Dungeons with a speedrun over here. And of course, hopefully those numbers and also calculations give you a rough understanding of how long it will take you to farm for unique items. And this is assuming you can get 1 to 2 unique items per hour. If you don't get this many unique items per hour, you have to double those numbers or triple those hours to get those unique items. And this is why I'm still farming in Test layer for the fastest way of getting unique items. I am still getting them, but I'm not getting the right ones, and that's kind of killing me at the moment. That's why we made a build without unique items, right? Now, if you guys do find a good method of farming for items, especially unique items in Diablo 4 in the new seasons or in the future, let us know in the comments or send me a direct message so we can be sharing with everyone and look into the rates and also methods to be farming for those items. Now, before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too. And she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.